Good morning, everyone. I want to start today by reflecting on something we often overlook: the way we start our mornings. The first few moments of the day set the tone for everything that follows. They influence our energy, our decisions, and even our spiritual connection. Yet there are habits that we unknowingly adopt that can distance us from our true purpose. In the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to forget the most important aspect: how we align ourselves with what truly matters. Today I want to share with you 4 morning habits that can anger God and how to break free from them before it's too late. So many of us wake up in the morning with a sense of urgency racing against the clock from the moment our eyes open. We jump out of bed, often checking our phones first thing, already thinking about the long to-do list that await us and the never-ending responsibilities we need to manage. In these moments, we forget to pause and reflect on the most fundamental thing we have: life itself. We tend to overlook the simple fact that waking up each morning is a blessing, a gift that many people don't get to experience. The alarm goes off and we get out of bed, but we don't stop to give thanks for another chance to live, to learn, to grow. This lack of gratitude can cause us to start our day feeling rushed, overwhelmed, and stressed, rather than peaceful, grounded, and grateful for the opportunity ahead. In this rush, we may miss the beauty of the moment. The warmth of the sunlight filtering through your window, the quiet stillness of the morning, the fresh air, or even the comfort of a warm bed can be easily ignored when we're consumed by the rush. And when we fail to express gratitude, we miss the chance to center ourselves, to set a tone of peace and positivity for the day ahead. Gratitude is powerful. It's like a reset button for our mindset. When we take even a few seconds to acknowledge the blessings we have, it can shift our entire outlook. Instead of seeing the morning as a series of tasks to conquer, we begin to see it as a chance to be present, to embrace the day with a sense of calm and appreciation. When you make gratitude a habit first thing in the morning, everything changes. Suddenly, the pressure of the day ahead doesn't feel as heavy. You begin to see your challenges as opportunities for growth, your relationships as blessings, and your goals as exciting, not burdensome. Gratitude allows us to take a step back from the chaos and recognize that in this moment we are enough, and we have everything we need to face what's to come. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to overlook one of the most important aspects of our lives: our spiritual connection. Many of us wake up to the constant buzz of notifications on our phones, the temptation to check emails or scroll through social media, and the immediate pull to dive into the chaos of the day. In the process, we disconnect from the most grounding force we can have: our inner selves, our spiritual center, and the higher power that sustains us. When we wake up and immediately turn to technology or worldly distractions, we allow these external influences to take precedence over what should be the most sacred time of our day: our quiet, reflective moments before the world fully demands our attention. The digital world, while offering convenience and connection, often pulls us away from the present moment, creating an ongoing sense of urgency and disconnection. We find ourselves overwhelmed by the noise of the world, with little to no space to center ourselves spiritually. A powerful spiritual connection requires stillness. It's about taking a step back away from the noise and giving ourselves the time to simply be. How many of us spend the first moments of our day caught up in the external world, checking social media for updates, emails for tasks, or simply diving into the responsibilities waiting for us? And yet, in those first few minutes, we could instead nurture our connection to something greater than ourselves. This is where the practice of grounding yourself spiritually becomes crucial. Spirituality isn't just about religion or belief in a higher power. It's about finding a moment of peace, of reflection, of understanding that there's something greater than us at work in the universe. It's about setting the tone of the day not from a place of stress, but from a place of alignment with our higher purpose. The silence in the morning is an invitation to hear that still, small voice within. It's a chance to reconnect with our values, our intentions, and the quiet knowing that we are not alone in this journey. When we neglect this spiritual connection in the morning, we are essentially stepping into our day without the foundation that holds us steady. We are like a tree with roots that haven't been nurtured. When the storms of the day come, whether it's a stressful meeting, an overwhelming schedule, or a personal challenge, we lack the inner strength to face it with grace. Our connection to a higher power gives us resilience, wisdom, and peace in the face of life's unpredictabilities. It centers us and reminds us that we are part of something bigger, which helps us navigate the ups and downs of the day with calm and clarity. Spirituality also brings a sense of gratitude and purpose. It shifts our focus from the self to the greater good, from immediate gratification to long-term fulfillment. When we choose to nurture our spiritual connection in the morning, we are acknowledging that life is not just about the tasks we need to accomplish, but also about the deeper meaning we seek. It allows us to see beyond the mundane and reminds us of the importance of love, compassion, patience, and kindness in everything we do. Taking a few moments each morning to connect spiritually can be as simple as sitting in silence, offering a prayer, or practicing mindfulness. It could be reading a passage that inspires you, meditating, or even taking a walk in nature. The form doesn't matter as much as the intention. What matters is that you're carving out time for yourself to feel grounded, to be present with your thoughts and feelings, and to realign yourself with your higher purpose. This spiritual practice not only helps you feel more centered in the moment, but also prepares you to face the challenges of the day with a clear mind and a calm heart. By ignoring this essential part of our morning routine, we essentially block ourselves from the peace and clarity we so desperately need. The more we neglect our spiritual connection, the more disconnected we feel from our true selves and from the world around us. We begin to operate on autopilot, reacting to everything rather than responding thoughtfully, and we lose sight of the beauty that's always present, just waiting to be noticed. In a world that constantly demands our attention, taking the time to nurture our spiritual connection is a revolutionary act of self-care. It's a way of stepping into the day, fully aware of who we are, what we stand for, and how we want to show up in the world. Without it, we risk living a life that's merely reactive, driven by external forces rather than internal alignment. So, the next time you wake up, take a moment to not with your phone, not with the to-do list, but with your own soul, your purpose, and the greater force that's guiding you. It will set the foundation for a day, a life filled with peace, purpose, and alignment. We all experience those moments in the morning when our minds begin to race with thoughts, and often the first thoughts that emerge are negative ones. The worries of yesterday, the stress of the day ahead, or the feelings of doubt and insecurity can creep in before we even fully open our eyes. And in those first precious moments of the day, when we are most impressionable, we may allow those negative thoughts to take over and set the tone for everything that follows. It's easy to get caught in the trap of negative thinking. Our minds have a tendency to gravitate toward problems rather than possibilities. Instead of feeling excited or hopeful about the opportunities of a new day, we find ourselves overwhelmed by what we think could go wrong. This tendency to start the day with fear, doubt, or negativity can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more we focus on what's going wrong, the more we attract situations and experiences that reinforce that negative mindset. When we allow negative thoughts to control our minds, we begin our day from a place of lack rather than abundance. We view the world through a lens of scarcity, seeing everything that needs fixing rather than all that's already going well. This mindset doesn't just affect our mood, it affects our energy, our relationships, and our productivity. We approach our task with a sense of dread rather than enthusiasm. We might see challenges as insurmountable obstacles rather than opportunities for growth. We may start judging ourselves harshly for mistakes. And even before our feet hit the ground, we've already convinced ourselves that we're not good enough, or that today will be just another exhausting, disappointing day. The truth is, our thoughts shape our reality. The way we think in the morning influences how we move through the world, interact with others, and handle the situations that arise. If we wake up feeling negative or doubtful, we may carry that energy with us, and every little thing that happens throughout the day will feel like confirmation of our fears. It's easy to spiral into a mindset that breeds stress, anxiety, and frustration. Moreover, allowing negative thoughts to dominate our mornings makes it much harder to be present and to engage with the world in a healthy, positive way. If we're stuck in our heads, consumed by worries or self-criticism, we can't fully experience the beauty of the moment. We miss the simple joys of the morning, the stillness, the soft light, the sound of birds outside, or the warmth of a cup of tea or coffee. Instead, we're trapped in a mental loop, thinking about everything that's wrong rather than everything that's right. It's important to recognize that our minds are not inherently negative. We have the power to shape our thoughts, to direct our focus, and to choose how we want to respond to the challenges of the day. This requires practice, patience, and the willingness to change our habitual thought patterns. The first step is acknowledging the negative thoughts when they arise. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and to assume that our thoughts define us, but in reality, we are not our thoughts. We have the power to observe them and choose whether to entertain them or let them go. One powerful way to combat negative thinking in the morning is by practicing gratitude. When we start our day by acknowledging what we're grateful for, we immediately shift our focus from what we don't have or what we're worried about to what we already have in abundance. Gratitude serves as a reset for the mind, pulling us out of the downward spiral of negativity and redirecting our attention to the positive aspects of our lives. Another technique is to replace negative thoughts with affirmations. When you notice a self-doubt or a worry creeping in, immediately replace it with a positive, empowering statement. For example, if you wake up thinking, "I'm too tired to deal with everything today," replace that with, "I have the strength and energy to tackle whatever comes my way." Over time, these affirmations can help rewire your brain to focus on the positive, transforming your entire outlook on life. Mindfulness and meditation are also powerful tools to help break the cycle of negative thinking. By sitting in silence and focusing on your breath, you create space between your thoughts and your reactions. This gives you the opportunity to observe your thoughts without judgment, to realize that you don't have to be consumed by them. Even just a few minutes of mindful breathing in the morning can help clear your mind and shift your focus away from negativity. It's important to remember that negativity doesn't just come from external sources, it often originates from within. The inner critic, that voice that tells us we're not enough, that we're not worthy, that we can't succeed, this voice needs to be quieted in order to allow our true selves to shine through. So much of our negativity comes from comparison, fear of failure, and unrealistic expectations. It's easy to look at others and think they have it all together. And in doing so, we start to feel inadequate or less than. But when we take a step back and remind ourselves that everyone has struggles and that no one is perfect, we can begin to silence that inner critic. In the grand scheme of life, the negativity we face in the mornings is just a fleeting moment. But the way we respond to it, whether we choose to let it control us or take charge of our thoughts, can have a lasting impact on the quality of our day, our relationships, and our well-being. The more we practice redirecting our focus and choosing positive, empowering thoughts, the easier it becomes to create a mindset of resilience and peace, no matter what the day may bring. The morning is a crucial time to set the stage for our emotional, mental, and spiritual health. By refusing to let negative thoughts control us, we reclaim our power and pave the way for a day filled with intention, positivity, and possibility. Starting the day with complaints is a habit that many of us fall into without even realizing it. As soon as our eyes open in the morning, we may find ourselves mentally listing all the things that are wrong in our lives, whether it's the weather, the responsibilities we have to face, or simply the overwhelming feeling of tiredness from not getting enough sleep the night before. The reality is, when we start the day by complaining, we set a negative tone for everything that follows. It's as if we are choosing to focus on what's wrong rather than appreciating what's right. The first few thoughts we have in the morning can have a profound effect on how we experience the rest of the day. If we wake up and immediately start complaining, we start our day on a note of frustration, negativity, and dissatisfaction. Complaining about the small things can easily snowball into complaints about larger issues, and before we know it, we are consumed by a mindset of dissatisfaction. What was initially a small irritation, like the temperature being too cold or the coffee machine not working, becomes the foundation for a day filled with a sense of discontent and resistance. This mindset often feeds into our perspective of the world. When we complain, first thing, we're essentially programming ourselves to look for problems. Our minds start scanning the environment for anything that might not be perfect or any obstacle that might arise. And when we find something to complain about, it reinforces our negativity. Instead of approaching the world with an open heart and a sense of curiosity, we engage with it through a lens of frustration and criticism. It's important to recognize that complaining doesn't change anything. It doesn't solve problems, improve situations, or make us feel better in any meaningful way. In fact, it can often make things worse. Complaining increases stress and anxiety as we fixate on things that we can't control or change. It drains our energy and undermines our ability to approach challenges with a calm and clear mind. Complaining also has the power to affect our relationships with others. If we constantly start our day by focusing on what's wrong, it can be hard to see the positives in those around us. We may become more irritable, impatient, or dismissive, which affects the way we interact with colleagues, friends, and family. The habit of complaining also prevents us from experiencing gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices we can cultivate, and when we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our energy from lack to abundance. However, when we start our day by complaining, we are essentially choosing to focus on what we don't have or what isn't going our way. This habit locks us into a mindset of scarcity, making it harder to appreciate the things we do have. We become so fixated on the inconveniences and frustrations that we lose sight of the many blessings that exist in our lives. When we constantly complain, we also prevent ourselves from exercising control over our emotions. While there are certainly things in life that may upset us or cause us distress, how we choose to react is entirely in our hands. Complaints often stem from a sense of powerlessness, feeling that circumstances are out of our control or that we have no ability to change them. But by focusing on complaints, we surrender our power and remain in a victim mindset rather than taking responsibility for how we respond to the situation. Starting the day with complaints can also have a profound impact on our physical well-being. Negative thoughts and emotions can activate the stress response in our bodies, leading to increased levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. When cortisol is elevated for extended periods, it can lead to a range of health issues, including high blood pressure, digestive problems, and a weakened immune system. Complaining about things that are beyond our control can put unnecessary strain on our bodies, making it more difficult to approach the day with energy and vitality. A common trigger for morning complaints is the feeling of being overwhelmed by responsibilities. Many of us wake up thinking about the long to-do list ahead of us, the meetings we need to attend, the emails we have to respond to, or the tasks we haven't yet completed. This sense of being buried under a mountain of responsibilities can create anxiety, which then manifests as complaints about the day ahead. But when we start our day with complaints about how much we have to do, we're already preparing ourselves for an exhausting, unmanageable day. We make the problem bigger than it needs to be. Rather than starting the day with complaints, we could reframe our mindset by focusing on the opportunities ahead. Every day is a new beginning, and with it comes the potential for growth, learning, and accomplishment. Starting the day with a positive intention or a sense of excitement can shift the way we approach even the most challenging tasks. For example, instead of complaining about a busy workday, we can remind ourselves that we have the ability to handle whatever comes our way. We can view the tasks ahead as opportunities to demonstrate our skills, work with others, and create something meaningful. Another way to break the habit of complaining is by incorporating small moments of self-reflection or mindfulness into our mornings. Instead of letting complaints be the first thing we say to ourselves, we can begin the day with a few minutes of gratitude, setting the tone for the rest of the day. We can ask ourselves questions like, what am I grateful for today? Or what am I excited about? Even acknowledging the simple things like a warm bed or the opportunity to enjoy a cup of tea can shift our focus from what's wrong to what's right. Starting the day with a positive affirmation is another powerful tool. Rather than letting complaints dictate your mindset, try to begin your day by telling yourself something empowering. For example, saying, I am capable of handling whatever comes my way today or today. I choose to embrace opportunities and challenges with a positive mindset can change the course of your day. It's essential to realize that starting the day with complaints is a habit we can change. It's a choice that we make in the first moments of the day. And with awareness, we can choose to replace it with gratitude, positivity, and a proactive mindset. By making this shift, We can start to see the world not as a series of problems to be solved, but as a space full of possibilities, opportunities, and experiences waiting to unfold. Every new day is a gift, and how we start it shapes how we move through the rest of the day. If we choose to begin the day with complaints, we are essentially choosing to carry negativity and resistance with us throughout our lives. But if we choose to start the day with gratitude, optimism, and purpose, we open ourselves to the possibility of a more fulfilling, balanced, and joyful life. Gratitude is one of the most transformative forces in our lives, yet it is often overlooked or taken for granted. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to achieve more, acquire more, and always reach for the next thing. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of striving, seeking, and desiring while forgetting to pause and appreciate what we already have. Gratitude, however, is the simple yet powerful practice of recognizing and appreciating the blessings, both big and small, that surround us every day. When we consciously incorporate gratitude into our lives, we open the door to a deeper sense of peace, contentment, and joy. In a world that is so often focused on what is lacking or what we haven't yet achieved, gratitude shifts our focus. It turns our attention away from scarcity and towards abundance. It helps us recognize that we have enough, that we are enough. It's easy to get caught up in a mindset of lack, where we feel like we don't have enough time, money, love, or opportunities. When we focus on what we don't have, we fall into the trap of comparison, feeling like others have it all together while we are left struggling. But gratitude shifts that mindset entirely. It trains our minds to look for what is going right in our lives rather than what is going wrong. When we practice gratitude, we train ourselves to see the good in every situation. Even in moments of difficulty or challenge, gratitude allows us to find meaning and growth. Instead of focusing on the obstacles or setbacks, we can choose to see what we have learned from the experience or how it has shaped us. For example, if we experience a setback at work, instead of complaining or feeling discouraged, we can practice gratitude by acknowledging the lessons we've learned or the strengths we've developed. In every challenge, there's an opportunity for growth, and gratitude helps us uncover those opportunities. Gratitude also fosters a deeper connection with ourselves and with others. When we are grateful for the people in our lives, we begin to see them through a lens of appreciation rather than expectation. Relationships thrive when we acknowledge and express gratitude for the people we care about. Simple acts of gratitude like saying thank you, expressing appreciation for someone's effort, or acknowledging the small things strengthen our bonds and create a positive, nurturing environment. Gratitude shifts our relationships from transactional to transformational, from taking people for granted to genuinely valuing them for who they are. When we begin each day with gratitude, we set a positive tone for everything that follows. Gratitude has a way of priming our minds to notice the good, which in turn encourages more positivity and joy. Starting the day by acknowledging something we're thankful for, whether it's the warmth of the sunlight streaming through our window, the comfort of a cup of coffee, or the love of those around us, shifts our perspective. We step into the day feeling grounded, peaceful, and ready to face whatever challenges may come. This shift in energy influences everything we do, from how we approach our work to how we interact with others. In fact, gratitude has been scientifically proven to have profound effects on our mental and physical health. Research shows that people who regularly practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. Gratitude reduces the release of cortisol, the stress hormone, and increases the production of serotonin and dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitters in our brains. This biochemical shift has tangible effects on our well-being, helping us feel happier, more fulfilled, and more at ease in our lives. Moreover, gratitude has a direct impact on our ability to cope with challenges. When we practice gratitude, we begin to cultivate a sense of resilience. We start to see life's difficulties not as permanent or insurmountable, but as temporary hurdles that we can overcome. Gratitude helps us find hope in the midst of adversity, knowing that we have the strength and resources to get through even the toughest of times. It reminds us that we are not alone, that we are part of a larger whole. supported by the people, experiences, and opportunities that surround us. Gratitude also enhances our ability to manifest what we desire in life. When we are grateful for what we already have, we send a powerful message to the universe that we are ready to receive more. The energy of gratitude is magnetic. It attracts more blessings into our lives. This doesn't mean that everything we want will magically appear, but it does mean that by cultivating gratitude, we align ourselves with the energy of abundance, opening ourselves up to new opportunities and experiences. Gratitude shifts our vibration, and as we radiate gratitude, we draw more of what we want into our reality. Furthermore, gratitude helps us build a deep sense of self-worth. When we express gratitude for ourselves, we acknowledge our own value and contributions. So often, we are our harshest critics, focusing on our flaws and mistakes rather than recognizing our strengths and accomplishments. Gratitude helps us appreciate who we are, where we've been, and what we've achieved. It allows us to embrace self-compassion and love, rather than self-criticism and doubt. By practicing gratitude, we begin to see ourselves as worthy of all the good things life has to offer, and we become more open to receiving them. Gratitude also encourages mindfulness and presence. It brings us into the present moment, helping us to stop worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. In a world filled with distractions and constant demands on our time, practicing gratitude brings us back to what matters most, the here and now. When we are grateful, we are fully engaged in the present moment, aware of the beauty, joy, and abundance that exists around us. Gratitude helps us slow down, breathe, and savor life's simple pleasures. The impact of gratitude extends beyond our own well-being. It can transform entire communities and societies. When we express gratitude, it creates a ripple effect, spreading positivity and kindness to those around us. Imagine a world where everyone practiced gratitude, where people acknowledged and appreciated one another, where kindness and compassion were the norm. Gratitude has the power to foster a culture of empathy, cooperation, and mutual respect, creating a more harmonious and supportive world. Gratitude transforms not just our inner world, but also the way we engage with the outer world. It encourages us to approach life with a sense of wonder and appreciation, to see beauty in the ordinary and to find joy in the smallest moments. When we choose gratitude, we choose to live fully, to experience life with all its ups and downs, and to appreciate every step of the journey. It is a practice that, when nurtured, has the power to change everything from how we perceive ourselves, to how we relate to others, to how we experience the world around us. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to forget about the nourishment that our spirits so desperately need. We're often so focused on meeting the demands of the physical world, work, relationships, personal achievements, that we overlook the deeper, intangible part of ourselves. Yet, spiritual nourishment is essential to maintaining our well-being, just as much as food and water are necessary to sustain our bodies. Without it, we risk feeling disconnected, unfulfilled, and lost in the noise of daily life. Our spirits, like our bodies, require regular care and attention to thrive. Spiritual nourishment isn't just about engaging in religious practices or rituals, though these can be important for many people. It's about giving ourselves the time and space to reconnect with our inner selves, our values, and the deeper meaning of our existence. Spiritual nourishment can take many forms: meditation, prayer, mindfulness, spending time in nature, or simply engaging in acts of kindness and compassion. It's about taking the time to replenish our inner reserves and realign ourselves with the purpose and peace that reside deep within. When we neglect our spiritual needs, we begin to feel fragmented, as if a piece of us is missing. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day tasks and challenges that demand our attention, but without spiritual nourishment, we lose sight of what truly matters. We may find ourselves feeling empty, searching for fulfillment in external things that don't satisfy our deeper needs. Material possessions, accomplishments, and even relationships can only fulfill us to a certain extent. They may bring temporary joy or satisfaction, but they don't provide the lasting peace that comes from being spiritually nourished. Only by tending to our spirit can we truly experience the depth of meaning and connection that life has to offer. One of the key aspects of spiritual nourishment is creating space for silence and stillness. In our modern world, We are constantly bombarded by noise, physical, emotional, and mental. The demands of work, family, social media, and even our own thoughts can drown out the quiet whisper of our inner voice. Yet, in silence, we find clarity. It is in the stillness that we can hear our true desires, recognize our inner wisdom, and connect with something larger than ourselves. This practice of slowing down, even if it's just for a few minutes each day, is essential for maintaining our spiritual health. Spiritual nourishment also helps us cultivate a sense of gratitude, which is one of the most powerful tools for inner peace. When we are spiritually nourished, we are more attuned to the beauty and abundance in our lives. We become aware of the small blessings that often go unnoticed: the warmth of the sun on our face, the sound of birds singing, the kindness of others, or the comfort of a quiet moment alone. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, and this shift is incredibly powerful. It opens our hearts to the present moment and allows us to find joy in the simplest of things. A spiritually nourished person is someone who approaches life with a deep sense of appreciation, knowing that each moment is a gift. Another crucial aspect of spiritual nourishment is the practice of self-compassion. In a world that often values productivity and achievement above all else, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-criticism and perfectionism. We can be our own harshest critics, constantly pushing ourselves to do more, be more, and accomplish more. But this mindset drains our spirit, leaving us feeling depleted and disconnected from ourselves. Spiritual nourishment teaches us to treat ourselves with the same love and care that we offer to others. It reminds us that we are worthy of rest, self-care, and kindness. By being gentle with ourselves and acknowledging our inherent worth, we cultivate a deep sense of inner peace that sustains us through life's challenges. In addition, spiritual nourishment strengthens our sense of purpose. It helps us connect with our values, our passions, and the deeper meaning of our lives. When we are spiritually nourished, we are less likely to become distracted by superficial desires or societal pressures. We become grounded in what truly matters to us, whether that's our relationships, our work, our creative pursuits, or our contribution to the world. Spiritual nourishment allows us to tap into our authentic selves, reminding us of the unique gifts we have to offer and the impact we can make. It gives us the strength to live with intention, choosing actions that align with our deepest values. Another vital component of spiritual nourishment is connection. Humans are inherently social creatures, and part of our spiritual well-being comes from our relationships with others. When we connect with others on a deeper level, whether through shared experiences, empathy, or acts of kindness, we nourish our souls. These connections remind us that we are not alone in the world, that we are part of a larger community, and that our lives have meaning beyond ourselves. In a world that often feels isolating, the act of sharing love and support with others can be a powerful source of spiritual sustenance. It reinforces the truth that we are all interconnected, and by uplifting one another, we elevate ourselves. In addition to connecting with others, spiritual nourishment often involves a connection with the natural world. Nature has an incredible ability to restore and replenish our spirits. Whether it's a walk in the park, sitting by the ocean, or hiking in the mountains, being in nature allows us to reconnect with the earth and the cycles of life. The beauty and tranquility of nature provide a much-needed respite from the chaos of everyday life, offering a sense of perspective and calm. Spending time outdoors reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, and that life is a continuous flow of growth, change, and renewal. Nature offers a space to reflect, rejuvenate, and restore our spirits. Spiritual nourishment also helps us cultivate resilience. Life is unpredictable, and we will all face challenges, losses, and difficulties at some point. But when we nourish our spirits, we build an inner foundation of strength and resilience that allows us to face these challenges with grace and wisdom. Spiritual nourishment helps us develop a deeper sense of trust in ourselves and in the process of life. It reminds us that we are capable of weathering storms and that every hardship offers an opportunity for growth. A spiritually nourished person has the strength to persevere through adversity, knowing that they are supported by something greater than themselves. Ultimately, spiritual nourishment is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Just as we need food to sustain our bodies, we need spiritual sustenance to nourish our souls. In a world that is constantly demanding our attention and energy, it's easy to neglect our spiritual health. But when we prioritize spiritual nourishment, we restore balance to our lives, we become more resilient, more compassionate, and more aligned with our true selves. We find peace in the midst of chaos, joy in the simple moments, and a deep sense of purpose that guides us through every step of our journey. Spiritual nourishment is the fuel that sustains us not just through the challenges of life, but through the beauty and wonder of the world around us. The power of your thoughts is one of the most remarkable and transformative forces you possess. Whether we realize it or not, our thoughts shape our reality in profound ways. Every belief we hold, every emotion we experience, and every action we take begins with a thought. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, our minds are constantly generating thoughts, and those thoughts influence how we perceive the world and interact with it. The mind has an almost magical ability to shape our experiences, direct our actions, and impact our well-being. And yet, many of us fail to realize just how much control we truly have over the outcomes of our lives by the simple act of choosing our thoughts. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful because they are the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. The mind is like a garden, and the thoughts we choose to cultivate are the seeds that will eventually grow into our reality. If we constantly think negative thoughts about ourselves, our lives, or the world around us, we unknowingly create an environment of fear, self-doubt, and limitation. On the other hand, if we fill our minds with positive, empowering thoughts, we set the stage for growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. Every thought carries with it a certain energy or vibration that has the ability to attract similar energies. This is the law of attraction in action, where like attracts like. If your thoughts are focused on gratitude, love, and possibility, you begin to attract more of those things into your life. Our thoughts also influence how we perceive ourselves and how we interact with others. Think about the last time you felt confident and empowered. The chances are you had thoughts that supported that feeling, thoughts like, I am capable, I have everything I need to succeed, or I trust myself. These thoughts gave rise to emotions of self-assurance, which then led to actions that reflected that confidence. Conversely, when we are plagued with thoughts of self-doubt or fear, we often hold ourselves back. We may question our abilities, hesitate to take risks, or second-guess our decisions. Negative thoughts can paralyze us, making us feel stuck in patterns of indecision or inaction. But when we choose to shift our thoughts to ones that empower us, we open ourselves to limitless possibilities and growth. One of the most profound aspects of the power of your thoughts is their impact on your emotions. Our thoughts and feelings are deeply intertwined, and our emotional state is often a direct reflection of the thoughts we are thinking. For instance, if we have a series of negative thoughts like I'm not good enough, or I'll never achieve my goals, it's no surprise that we begin to feel anxious, sad, or defeated. These thoughts create a chemical response in the brain that generates emotions corresponding to that mental state. On the other hand, positive thoughts such as I am deserving of success or I am grateful for the opportunities in my life elevate our emotional state. We feel hopeful, optimistic, and motivated. Essentially, we can shift our emotional state by consciously choosing different thoughts. The mind is so powerful that it can influence our physical health as well. The connection between the mind and body is undeniable, and what we think about can manifest physically in our bodies. For example, research shows that chronic stress and negative thinking can contribute to a variety of physical ailments, such as high blood pressure, heart disease, digestive issues, and weakened immune function. When we are constantly thinking stressful or anxious thoughts, our bodies go into a state of heightened alert, releasing stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, this constant state of stress takes a toll on our health. On the other hand, when we practice mindfulness, gratitude, and positive thinking, we activate the body's relaxation response. This can help lower stress levels, boost immunity, and promote overall physical well-being. The mind-body connection is powerful. And by choosing healthier, more positive thoughts, we can enhance our physical health and vitality. Our thoughts also have a profound influence on our behavior and the actions we take or fail to take. Have you ever noticed how your mindset impacts your ability to follow through on goals or make decisions? If your thoughts are focused on doubt, fear, or uncertainty, it can be incredibly difficult to take meaningful action. For instance, If you are constantly thinking, I'll never be able to lose weight, or I can't stick to a healthy routine, these thoughts will manifest in your actions or lack thereof. You may feel unmotivated or defeated before even getting started. However, when you change your thinking to I am capable of making healthy choices, or each day is an opportunity to take a step closer to my goal, your actions will align with those thoughts. You will feel more confident, more driven, and more willing to take the necessary steps to achieve your goals. The power of your thoughts directs the energy you put into your actions and therefore shapes the outcomes you experience. Even more importantly, our thoughts influence the energy we project into the world. Every thought we have creates an energy field around us which affects the people and situations we encounter. If we are constantly thinking negative or critical thoughts, we radiate an energy of tension, resistance, or dissatisfaction. People can pick up on this energy and it can influence the way they respond to us. On the other hand, when we cultivate thoughts of love, compassion, and kindness, we radiate positive energy that can attract similar energy from others. Our thoughts shape not only our personal experience, but also the energy we bring into the collective environment. By thinking thoughts that promote peace, love, and connection, we help create an atmosphere of harmony that positively impacts everyone around us. The power of thoughts extends beyond individual experiences into the collective consciousness as well. Just as our personal thoughts shape our individual lives, they also contribute to the collective energy of society. If we all focus on positive, uplifting thoughts, we can create a ripple effect of positivity that extends far beyond ourselves. By fostering thoughts of unity, kindness, and cooperation, we can collectively raise the vibration of humanity. This doesn't mean that challenges or difficulties will vanish, but it does mean that we can approach life with a mindset that fosters resilience, hope, and a sense of shared purpose. Our thoughts contribute to the larger narrative of society, and we have the power to influence that narrative by choosing our thoughts wisely. When it comes to transforming our lives, one of the most effective tools we have is the conscious management of our thoughts. The power of our thoughts is so immense that we can literally reshape our future by changing how we think. Negative thoughts may arise from time to time, but we have the ability to notice them, challenge them, and replace them with thoughts that serve us better. If we want to experience a life full of success, joy, and fulfillment, we must begin by thinking thoughts that reflect those desires. By practicing mindfulness and developing awareness around our thoughts, we can begin to break free from the habitual patterns of thinking that have held us back and create a mindset that supports the life we want to live. The power of your thoughts is not just a philosophical concept. It's a real, tangible force that can transform every aspect of your life. The thoughts you choose today have the power to shape your tomorrow. So the next time you face a challenge or find yourself caught in a negative thought loop, remember that you hold the key to unlocking a better future through the simple but powerful act of choosing your thoughts. The ability to transform your life lies within you, and it all begins with the way you think. Choosing joy over negativity is not merely a reaction to the events of the day, but rather a conscious decision, a mindset that we cultivate intentionally despite the challenges life throws our way. Every day we are confronted with countless situations that can either uplift us or bring us down. There are times when circumstances seem overwhelming and negativity feels like the easy option. But in those moments, choosing joy becomes an act of power. It is about reclaiming control over our emotional state and refusing to let external factors dictate our internal peace. This doesn't mean that we deny or suppress difficult emotions, but rather that we choose to approach life with a perspective that elevates our spirits even when things aren't going our way. The reality is that negativity often comes naturally to us. It's easy to get caught up in negative thinking, especially in a world where stress, uncertainty, and challenges are common. We often focus on the things that go wrong, how hard our day was, how unfair situations feel, or how we didn't get what we wanted. It's part of human nature to be wired to pay more attention to threats, obstacles, and negative experiences because they often carry higher emotional weight. However, the power lies in recognizing this tendency and making a conscious choice to shift our focus. Choosing joy doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to acknowledge the negativity but not allowing it to consume our hearts and minds. It is about choosing a positive outlook, even when life is messy and imperfect. One of the first steps in choosing joy over negativity is reframing the way we think about our circumstances. This is where the power of perspective comes into play. For instance, if something goes wrong, whether it's a missed opportunity, a mistake at work, or an argument with a friend, we have the choice to view it through a lens of negativity or through a lens of growth and possibility. When we focus only on the negative aspects, we trap ourselves in a cycle of frustration, disappointment, and helplessness. But if we reframe the situation by asking, what can I learn from this? Or what's the silver lining? We create space for joy to emerge. Even in the most difficult circumstances, there are often lessons to be learned, opportunities for growth, or reasons to be grateful. By actively choosing to focus on these aspects, we begin to shift our energy towards joy rather than letting negativity define our experience. Another powerful way to choose joy over negativity is by practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a practice that invites us to focus on the positive aspects of our lives instead of the negative. It's so easy to get caught up in what we don't have, what we wish was different, or what we feel is lacking. But when we make gratitude a daily habit, we start to notice the abundance that already exists in our lives. It could be something as simple as the warmth of the sun on your skin, the support of a friend, or the comfort of a home. Even in moments of hardship, we can always find something to be grateful for. This simple shift in focus can be incredibly transformative. Gratitude helps us see beyond the surface level negativity and deepens our appreciation for life. When we focus on what we have instead of what we lack, our hearts naturally open to joy. Choosing joy over negativity also requires letting go of perfectionism. In a world where success is often measured by external achievements and standards, it's easy to get caught in the trap of comparison, self-judgment, and the pursuit of an ideal. However, the idea that everything has to be perfect in order to be joyful is a recipe for dissatisfaction. Life is messy, imperfect, and unpredictable. When we let go of the need for everything to go according to plan, we open ourselves to embracing the beauty in imperfection. Choosing joy means accepting ourselves and others as we are with all our flaws and imperfections, and finding happiness in the present moment, rather than waiting for everything to be just right. In addition, choosing joy is deeply connected to the way we interact with others. How often do we allow the negative energy of others to influence our mood and mindset? It's easy to get drawn into the negativity of those around us, whether it's gossip, complaining, or negativity about the world. But we always have the option to either absorb that negativity or choose to respond with positivity and joy. When we choose joy in our interactions, we create a positive ripple effect. Our joy becomes infectious, and it encourages others to focus on the good rather than the bad. Sometimes joy is simply a matter of offering a smile, a kind word, or a listening ear to someone in need. The simple act of spreading joy to others not only uplifts their spirits but also enriches our own. Choosing joy also involves setting boundaries. Negative energy can be draining, and sometimes we need to create space between ourselves and situations or people that constantly bring us down. While we can't always control external circumstances, we can control how we respond to them. Setting healthy boundaries allows us to protect our peace and preserve our joy. This might mean limiting time spent with negative or toxic individuals, stepping back from conversations that focus solely on complaining, or choosing to avoid media that amplifies fear and negativity. By protecting our energy in this way, we ensure that we are better able to nurture the joy within us and not allow the outside world to dictate our emotional state. Choosing joy over negativity also requires mindfulness and presence. In a world that moves at a fast pace, it's easy to rush through life, constantly worrying about the future or ruminating on the past. But joy exists in the present moment, in the here and now. When we take time to slow down, breathe, and fully engage with the present, we create space for joy to enter. Whether it's savoring a cup of coffee, enjoying a moment of laughter with a friend, or simply sitting in silence, being present allows us to experience life's joys in a deeper, more meaningful way. Mindfulness helps us cultivate an awareness of the present, where joy is always available, rather than getting lost in regrets about the past or fears about the future. The choice to embrace joy is not a denial of the real struggles and hardships we face. It is, in fact, an act of resilience. Life will always have its challenges, and there will always be moments of disappointment, pain, or loss. But choosing joy is about maintaining our inner peace and finding ways to stay connected to the good that still exists, even in tough times. It is a choice to believe that no matter what happens, we have the power to maintain our own sense of happiness. This mindset doesn't diminish the reality of our struggles, but allows us to rise above them, seeing each challenge as an opportunity to grow and a chance to find joy in the process of overcoming it. Ultimately, choosing joy is about reclaiming our power. It is about recognizing that we have the ability to decide how we respond to life's circumstances, how we navigate the ups and downs, and how we shape our emotional experience. Life may not always go as planned, but we can always choose how we react. By choosing joy over negativity, we take control of our emotional state and refuse to let negativity define us. Instead, we create a life that is filled with positivity, resilience, and the kind of joy that comes from within, one that isn't reliant on external circumstances, but is grounded in the deep knowing that joy is a choice available to us at any moment. In closing, choosing joy over negativity is a powerful and transformative decision that each of us can make, no matter what challenges we face. It doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect, but it's about shifting our perspective, embracing gratitude, and reclaiming our inner peace. We may not always be able to control the circumstances around us, but we always have the power to choose how we respond. Let us commit to cultivating joy in our lives, to spreading positivity to those around us, and to facing each day with the intention of finding the good in every situation. The choice is ours, and in choosing joy, we create a life that is not only fulfilling but deeply meaningful. Remember, joy is not just a fleeting feeling, it's a mindset, a way of living. So let us choose joy, for it is within our power to make it our reality, no matter what.